Proud of you, bro.
They saw me the next two of them, but I was like,
We're going to get started here. So athletes can take their seats. All right, this is just really one of my favorite days of the school year, just signing day, and it's pretty cool. We usually just have 3 signing days, but we had some more work to do for these fellas, so we wanted to have a special day for them because they've earned it. And I get to see firsthand, I'm Johnny Ice, I'm the athletic director. I get to see firsthand kind of the whole behind the scenes work that they put in daily at their craft, and to see it come to this point. And I know there's a lot of hours that go on that I don't see that are off campus that go into getting here, and a lot of family support. But have that opportunity to play at the next level is just a special thing. I know it's the desire and the want from a lot of our kids, and not everyone gets to do it. And I'll talk a little bit more of what you're about to sign later, but just very proud of you 4 guys and for what you brought our campus and our community and your programs, and just leaders on and off the field and court, and Matt, and just very proud of you, and hope you feel celebrated today because you deserve it. All of you are very deserving. Let me pray. I'll invite our coaches up and we'll get this started. Dear Heavenly Gracious Father, what a special day it is, a special time to celebrate just 4 amazing athletes, and just not only are they special athletes, they're great teammates, competitors, workers, just encouragers, just the kind of athletes that we want to have on our campus and represent you. We thank you so much for the opportunity that you're giving them to go to this next level of competition, and I think they all know what's ahead of them and the work that's going to be in store for them, and they're not going to back down from that. So we thank you for this opportunity. Let them, before that work gets started, just celebrate this time right now with their classmates and their families, just being able to sign the letter of intent. Just a special day, so just let them feel blessed, appreciated, and loved today. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, Coach Nadolski is going to come up and start us off. All right.
Thank you, Coach Ison. My name is Preston Nadolski. I'm the head boys basketball coach here. I'm going to start off. I'm going to try to keep it. I got my timer here. Try to keep these efficient. I'm going to be talking about Trent Feely and Bradley Land, 2 people that are very special to me. First, we're going to talk about Trent Feely. This was Trent's first year here at Liberty Christian. Had a lot of great accomplishments. He was our team defensive player of the year. Was selected first team all district by the coaches in our district. Had some really big moments for us on the court. He was given the task in probably 2 of our biggest district games against Midland Christian, who we had not beaten in my time here until this year. And they've got a player there that's really, really special. It's going to Liberty University, Joseph Vinzan, that had given us all sorts of problems over the last 2 years. And we had a team defensive plan to try to slow him down. But the point of that, the top of that, the primary responsibility for the defensive plan was Trent's responsibility to try to slow him down, agitate him a little bit, just put in a lot of hard work. And it was a very, very tough challenge that Trent was given, but I mean, he just took it, and he wanted it. He really wanted the challenge. He wanted that responsibility. And when I look at those 2 games, when I talked to Coach Carroll, who's the head basketball coach at UMHB, and I just told him, just look at these 2 games, the energy, the enthusiasm he brought, the way it affected his teammates, and it's really just the kind of guy you want in your locker room. And so when I think back about Trent's 1 year here, I'm going to really think back to those 2 games. He had some other great games too. He had a big scoring day at home against Ponder. He shot the lights out, had some huge baskets for us in a lot of district games. But I'm always going to think back to those 2 games against Midland Christian when I think about Trent's time here. The other thing I'm going to think about is not so much on the court, but from the moment that Trent got here, what he brought to this team is probably what our team sorely lacked. And that was, he brought an energy, competitiveness, toughness, and accountability to his teammates in every area. In the weight room, in the way that he attacked practice every single day. the way he attacked morning shooting, he brought a little different energy level to morning shooting than what we had ever had before. And so he was a huge, huge addition for our program. And like I said, he really brought a lot of what this team needed and was a missing piece for us. Everything that he did it with his entire heart and soul. One thing about Trent is he never looked for a reason to get out of something that was hard. So Coach Neal's got some hard days in the weight room for him in the offseason. And some kids kind of know when those days are on the schedule, and sometimes things get scheduled during those times, so maybe they don't have to do them, things like that. But Trent never did that. He was always there. He always wanted to put in hard work, and he always brought just as much energy into the things that weren't fun as he brought into the things that were fun. He played through injury most of the season, and he didn't even let me know that he was injured for a big part of it. And then finally he got bad enough to where he couldn't hide it anymore. But he still got his treatment. He got the game day ready. I'm not sure what they're called. It's Felicia here, but the game ready ankle treatment things. He took him home. He did what he was supposed to do. He followed the trainer's orders on those, and then he just played through it. He had to miss a couple games, but I don't think he was ever fully right through most of the season, but I don't think anybody that was in the stands would have ever known that. And so, again, he looked for reasons why he could do things. He looked for reasons why he could take on challenges, why he could give great effort, as opposed to finding reasons why maybe today I can't give great effort. I'm a little dinged up, or maybe today I can't do this. We never got that from Trent. He always wanted it to be hard, wanted to go full speed. So he's going to University of Mary Hardin-Baylor, which was a school that he was interested in going to regardless of basketball. And so I'm really excited for him. For those that don't know, his older brother is transferring from his school, and he's going to go there. So they're going to have a chance to be a part of the same basketball program, which is, I'm just so excited for him. I'm jealous. And I'm excited for Trent that he gets to be in a locker room. He's such a great team chemistry, locker room type of guy. And I think if his basketball career was over, I think he would really miss that, just that scene. And so I'm just really excited that he gets to be inside of that scene. And then I'm also really excited that he's going to a school like Mary Hardin-Baylor. Trent got 1 year here at Liberty Christian, and a private Christian school. And so I really hope and pray that two things. I hope and pray that Liberty Christian equipped him with some tools in his spiritual journey that are going to serve him well in his valleys and dark days and his good days, and are going to allow him to live his faith out in front and be an example for those that he comes into contact with and those he competes with every single day. And then I hope that Mary Hardin-Baylor is a place that's going to allow him to continue to foster and continue to grow on that spiritual journey. So I hope, like I said, that Liberty has helped prepare him, helped guide him, given him those tools to do those things, to be a leader in his faith. And then I pray that Mary Hardin-Baylor continues to foster those and that he continues to do that. All right, so again, Trent, I love you. So happy that you made the commitment to come here this year. And I don't know what we would have accomplished without you, but I know we did a lot more than we would have. So thank you, Trent. Okay, to my left here, Bradley Lane. On the court, Bradley accomplished in his 4 years as a varsity player for Liberty Christian, scored over 1,000 points. This year he was the district defensive player of the year, first team all-district, first team all-state. He was, his junior and senior year was our team MVP. He accomplished a lot on the court. He had a lot of great games, a lot of great moments, a lot of special memories on the court. But I think most of the things that I'm going to remember about Bradley are all off the court. And, Bradley's been here as a varsity player as a freshman. He was a varsity player here as a freshman. And Coach Freak, who's here, was his head coach. And Coach Freak had the wisdom and the vision to see what Bradley was going to become down the road. He was a scrawny little skinny kid at that time, but Coach Freak knew what he would be eventually, and had the wisdom to put him on the varsity team as a freshman. And so Bradley has kind of seen the entire arc over the last 4 years, and he's been a constant in everything that's happened with with our basketball program over the last 4 years. So after his freshman year, I got hired to be the head coach. And my first day on this campus was in the summer. I think it was the very first summer workout, the first day of summer. And I came and I walked in the weight room and I was introduced. I think Coach Roby maybe introduced me. Matthew Grigg and Bradley Lane right there. They're going to be in the back. Those are two of the basketball players. And so after they got done with the workout, they both introduced themselves to me. And so Bradley was literally one of the first two young men on this campus that I met. And he's just been really special to me ever since. And so from that day, my first day on this campus until now, I haven't known a time at Liberty Christian where Bradley wasn't a really important part of everything that I'm doing. When I wake up in the morning, what I'm thinking about basketball-wise, and Bradley's always been a constant in that for me too. So it's going to be different. It already has been different. Not thinking about, okay, well, how are we going to use Bradley? How are we going to, how's he going to lead? What do I need to talk to him about to get the team ready and things like that. And so he's just been such an important part of what we've done here. His sophomore year, my first year here, he got to be part of a really fun team and a really fun season. Got to get a really good taste of what winning was like, and had a big game at the end of that year against Wichita Falls Hershey in a playoff warm-up game. I think that was his highest scoring game, and it was really a window into like what the next 2 years were going to look like for Bradley. And then as a junior and senior, like I said, he was our team MVP 2 years in a row. This year led us to a district title, led us to an area championship, and just got to complete that entire arc of his 4 years here. The other thing is the standard that Bradley left, and Trent's been a little bit a part of this year also, of just the work ethic that he's put in. When I talk to some of the underclassmen, or a kid moves in, or we've got a freshman on campus, and they want to know, okay, Coach, what can I do to get better? What do I need to do? I've been able to just point to Bradley and say, Bradley's in the weight room every day in the summer. Bradley's up here for morning shooting. Bradley looks, just like I mentioned about Trent, he looks for a reason to come up here and get stronger, get faster. I encouraged Bradley early on to be part of track, which I think he might have already been at that time, but he wanted to be part of the track program, which I think really fostered his competitiveness. And track sort of forces you to figure out, to dig deep within yourself and get the most out of yourself, probably more so than any other sport, because you can't blame your teammate, it was you. And so he accomplished incredible things in track this year. I think was our highest point earner individually in track. And so when a young player, the legacy that he's left is if you want to be sitting behind this table someday, those are the things that you have to do. But you've got to do all that stuff that nobody else sees. Everybody got to be here at the TCA playoff game or the big district game when Bradley had a great moment or a big dunk or a big shot, and got to stand and cheer and see all that. But what they didn't see was all those days in the weight room. 2 years ago, we were at the early morning weight room stuff, and everybody was half asleep, and Bradley was in there getting his ankle hops and doing all that stuff that nobody likes doing in the summer, just every single day. And so that standard that he's left is going to be felt here for years after Bradley leaves. And then the other thing, too, though, the other thing I note here I have too is that I'm also going to just miss I've gotten close to the whole family as part of this process too. His mother was was our team mom and did so much for us, and so he comes from a great family. They're all going to be really special to me, and leading into the next thing is that your legacy is not finished yet here also. And I'd say this for you also, Trent, is that the way that you compete and the way that you work at the next level is also going to have an effect on on Liberty Christian and the kids that play in our program after you. Is the Colorado Christian coach going to coach Bradley Land and after year one say, man, I want to get some more of those Liberty Christian kids. Those kids know how to work. Those kids put it all out there. Or is he going to be like, well, all of a sudden, I may not believe Coach Davalski anymore after he told me Bradley was a hard worker after coaching Bradley. And so your legacy is a continuous thing. And then I would say that, like we talked about with Trent, Colorado Christian is another place that's going to allow you to be a leader in your faith. And I really encourage you to do that, Bradley. You've been at Liberty long enough. You've had enough people at this campus pour into you that you know how to lead in your faith, that You know the things that you need to do to continue to strengthen your relationship with Christ, and I encourage you to do that. And I hope that when your teammates are around you, that they know that you love Jesus, and they know by the way that you carry yourself and the way that you work every single day, and just by the way that you speak, and by the way that you live your life. And so, again, I'm going to really miss you, Bradley, and I'm so excited for you both on the journey that you're about to go on. And I know this is kind of the cliche thing to say at signing days, but it's really, signing that paper is really just kind of the start. And everything that you've done, I hope it prepares you, but the real work's about to get started here pretty soon. All right? So let's give a round of applause for Bradley. All right, and now Coach Smith.
I did bring my own mic. First, I'd like to thank, I'm Coach Smith. I am the wrestling coach here at Liberty Christian, and I've been here almost 10 years. But I'd like to thank my athletic department. I think Johnny and Kim give me a lot of grace and act like that section of the building doesn't exist, because we did have early on COVID, and wrestling is probably not the most friendly COVID-friendly sport there is, so I think maybe they may have turned a blind eye. So I do appreciate, thank you, Dr. McCullough, as well. So that did happen. We ended up making it work, so I appreciate that. It's a big thank you. There are a lot of schools that did not have that opportunity. So here I am. I have an opportunity to talk about two boys. Earlier in the year, I got to talk about two other boys. And I think I mostly spoke about family and how important family is to us. I think and put in the position I'm in, I'm put in the position as a mentor, and I try to mentor them as best I can. And I think being a father is probably one of the toughest jobs out there. And I think these boys, both of them, I've known both of them since they were probably 9, 10 years old. Jaron, who's actually having an opportunity to wrestle at the next level at D1 University at ASU. One of the stories I can remember most, I was one of the head officials at a tournament that he wrestled in when he was 8 or 9, and he was wrestling with my son. And so we got to know John really well, Jaron's father, and John and I talked, and then Skylar and Jaron talked. Next thing you know, I'm taking Jaron to Penn State wrestling camp over the summer, when they're normally not supposed to go into the camp until about 12 or 13, but I said it'll be all right. So John flew Jaron into Pennsylvania. We picked him up. Everything was going good. But I don't think they realized that part of my trip to Pennsylvania, I like to do deep sea fishing in the Hamptons with my brother. So I let the boys they gotta grow up. So I let them do their thing, right? Well, my brother wants to leave a day early, and I was supposed to take Jaron to the airport. And my son got to stay with my parents. And Jaron's like, yeah, that's all right, Coach, I got it. And I said, okay, hey, listen, my mom's gonna come pick you up. I haven't even asked my mom. Mom, is there any way you can go pick up this boy? How old is he? 8 or 9. He'll be okay, he knows what to do. And then those that know me probably know this is the truth. So my mom's yelling at me, I'll take your sister. So my sister and my mom go pick up a boy they've never met. Jaron, just that smile that you get right there, smiling, he's the cutest boy ever, right? Why not? They drop him off in the airport. My sister walks him in. That was back before when we could walk into the airport. And my sister says, he gonna be all right? I was like, he's fine. Now I'm on a boat fishing, right? No reception. And I get back onto the Hamptons area, and my phone, I got like 50 phone calls. Jaron has not made it back to Texas yet. Whoa. All right, must have been bad weather. So then I call my mom. Obviously, who else you gonna blame? Blame your mom. Yelling at her. She goes, I don't know, Tammy, with my sister. was there, and he was fine. He said, it's okay, 9 years old. It's okay, I got it. He fell asleep in the airport terminal. Like literally 10 minutes before his flight. Then I eventually get a hold of him. Hey, that's okay. Coach, I got it. And he gets on the next flight, and John never said, he was kind of like, okay, it's good. So that's part of family. And then John, getting to know John throughout the years, incredible support for wrestling. So what I remember from him is trying to get clubs up and running and trying to do things to make sure that we benefit the sport. Then when I find out that he has an interest in coming to Liberty and to come to have an opportunity to wrestle here, only 2 years ago, me, father, coach, excited because Skylar's excited, so your son's excited. Well, then John's saying, hey, be great wrestling partners. Well, it turned out awesome. So last year, I'm not a statistician in any way. I try not to focus on that. I don't think that's an important part. I think making each day your masterpiece, I think, is what you try to do. John Wooden, that's basketball. Make every day your masterpiece. So what's great about Jaron does make every day your masterpiece. His effort what he does and what he brings into a wrestling room, it's fun. He's so gullible. Like, I gotta be careful when I say stuff to him, because I joke around a lot. Like, he'll believe it. Like, there's times when he's at the house and I gotta worry, wait, did he really believe everything I said? Because, Jaron, you agree? You buy into everything I said, huh? So when I found out that, that the season kind of started off well, let me go back to last year. Last year he comes into the wrestling program, just goes to the state tournament, our highest level of wrestling here in Texas, and pins everybody within. Like, the cool thing for a coach is to sit in the corner and cheer on in the finals, because immediate, like, the attention's on you. I don't know if that's cool. But I sat in the corner. He had 4 matches. I sat in the corner for 1 minute combined. He pinned everybody in the first period, which is the fastest that anybody has ever pinned anybody throughout the state tournament. So I thought that was incredible. And then this year, if you're wondering what that thing is on his arm, what's that thing? He just got back yesterday. He had shoulder surgery on his labrum just yesterday. So we're at the state tournament here, hosted the state tournament. Thank you again, Johnny. We weren't supposed to have it necessarily at a state tournament, but we hosted, and Jaron pins everybody through, and then all of a sudden his shoulder pops out of the socket. And he's laying on the mat, and Coach Bowles will attest to this. I'm sitting there, no, come on. And it actually did pop out of the socket, because by the time I got to the mat, I could see it pop back in. So I'm like, oh no. He finishes the finals match with one arm, and he's just snapping a kid down and wrestling. So he wrestles through some things that I'd say probably most boys that I know would have just time out and be finished with it. He also then, 2 weeks later, goes to Prep Nationals, which is our biggest event that is probably one of the top recruiting opportunities in the state or in the country probably. He goes to wrestle with one arm in a sense and places and All-Americans there at Prep Nationals. So it goes to show the character and the drive and wherewithal that he has to be able to continue and drive through. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Jerry. Back to family. I'll start with family when it comes to Ethan. 10 years ago or so, I got to hang out with Ethan. I was actually one of his officials, and it's hanging in his bedroom of me. Did you actually win that match? No, so I was the head official at a wrestling tournament. He comes in, and they actually captured that picture of me raising his hand. But when it comes to family, Susie, so my wife and I came to Liberty. Skylar and Ethan get to meet up, 5th grade. He was probably a pretty good baseball player, so sorry I took him off the baseball team. But he kind of really gravitated towards wrestling And one of the things that was most meaningful to me is my wife and I had sold our house. Susie, realtor. I won't, so anyway, Susie's a realtor, and she talks to my wife, and they sell my house while I was in Iowa. I come back, my house there's a sign, so I wasn't sure if I was still going to be there. And we need a place to stay for over a month. And where else would you stay? Your realtor's house. And Susie offers up her house to my wife and I and Skylar, and talk about get to know each other. True friendship and relationship. And all through that, Ethan just continued to grow. Just on all levels. I got to know him so well. I love cars, but if I knew a tenth of what he knows about an engine in a Mustang or a Lamborghini, and fishing. I'm like, dude, how do you know so much? And we just connected. And when it comes to somebody that's sincere, he's a real servant heart. You would never guess that sometimes because you kind of like the way he holds himself. But he's one of the truly a loving individual. He really cares for you. And on that, I wanted to make sure I invite Coach Bowles up because Coach Bowles and I talk about him all the time. And Coach Bowles is my assistant. Oh, an assistant coach. He's not really my assistant. He's my governor.
I'm happy that I got to say a few words about Ethan. I first met Ethan in 7th grade, even though he'd been here for a few years. I was the middle school coach for the last decade. This is my first year up at the varsity. And my first interaction with Ethan was I was a chaperone on a 7th grade trip. And my first interaction with Ethan wasn't a great one. A bit of a knucklehead and had done something stupid on the trip. Not that details don't matter. And I remember thinking, man, I don't know what we're going to do with this kid. I hadn't mellowed out yet. I was still pretty hardcore as a teacher back then. And then I talked to Coach Smith about it. And Coach Smith's like, oh, no, you got it all wrong. You just don't know Ethan yet. And he was right. I hadn't got a chance to get to know Ethan yet. What Coach said is exactly right. He's one of the most sincere people I've ever met. Talking about his skill level, it's obvious these gentlemen are skilled. The fact that they're sitting up here right now. But when it comes to my relationship with Ethan, knowing him for 6 years, he is a guy that absolutely cares about what he's doing. He cares about his teammates. He's a quiet leader when it comes to that. But when someone's having a tough day in the room, someone's getting beat up a little bit, he's the guy that's coming up behind them saying, hey man, you got it. That was a pretty good move you actually did. You just do this and you'll be better next time. And he's a great encourager. He was some glue that kind of helped hold the room together. And so I'm proud that he was a part of our team. To you four, all four of you up here, Trent, Bradley, Jaron, Ethan, congratulations. Like Coach Nowelski said, you are still representing us as you move on, and I'm happy that it's you four that are going to be doing that. They're going to be representing Liberty. So let's give these guys another round of applause.
Coach Johnny Ison. I love hearing my voice in here. Hey, is Milo Wolf in here? Hi, Skip.
Just going to share my heart a little bit. Just super proud of our coaches. Just super proud of the way they lead their programs from both coaches. You could just say, you could tell very easily that you love your kids. And that's what I love about being in the position that I am. Our coaches love their athletes. The love they have for athletes here on this campus is different than anywhere else. It really is. That's what keeps me here. I've been here since 2001, and every year just the coaches impress me and the kids impress me. But Coach is very proud of how you spoke about your athletes. Families, if you can make your way up, and I just want to thank the families too for choosing Liberty. Yeah, let's give the families families, if you want to come up behind me. Yes, thank you for choosing Liberty. There's a lot of options out there, and we appreciate the sacrifice that you make to keep your kids at Liberty. I know it's a sacrifice. to keep him here. And I guess for the athletes, if there's three things I want to say is, and it's already been mentioned, this is when the work starts. Now you really want to start grinding, and I would say make it through that first year. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. Coach is not going to know your name. That's okay. That's okay. You just keep working, and you keep working, and you keep working. Second thing is to be very careful about who you surround yourself with when you're on their campus. Who you choose to spend your time with is going to be the difference in how successful you are at the next level. Choose wisely. The third thing is liberty. Whether you've been here 1 year or you've been here since I've seen you in PE, liberty is always home to you. You're always welcome. The greatest thing you can give a coach, the greatest gift you can give a coach is to come back and say hello. It really is the greatest gift you can give a coach. So I was saying the greatest gift you can give a coach is just to return to campus and say hello. So really proud of you four. And this is the moment we all been waiting for. So let's sign those letters. Let's clap it up for them. Very proud of you four. And I feel like God put something on my heart, just a word or 2 words, just from seeing all 4 of you just do your thing. And the words that came to me are, these are 4 relentless competitors. So very proud of you guys. Let me pray us out. I think we're going over time. Sorry, Miss Lytle. We're going a little long, so we'll pray us out. And then you guys come up and give your hugs to these athletes. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this day. We thank you for just everyone that's in the room, the support they've given these athletes from very early years to where they are now. It just takes a village of effort just to get to these athletes to the point that they're at right now of signing a letter of intent to play at the next level. And I just ask that as they finish up this part of high school, that they just enjoy these last few weeks, last few days, just really enjoy what they've done at this campus, the leaders they've been, and I just ask that you just let them be bold over the summer, protect them, and as they go on to their new campuses, may they find like-minded people who are going to follow you, and let them be leaders on their teams. And I just so proud of all 4 of them, so proud of their families, support they've given to their athletes and to this school. We just thank you for continually blessing Liberty Christian School. We love you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.